Hello guys, welcome back, and in today's video we're gonna go over all of the tips to start strong and all of the mistakes that you should try to avoid, right? Sometimes you can't, and it's fine on some of these mistakes, but it's not the end of the world because it's at the end of the day the event is really long, so you have time to save it, let's say. So don't worry about too much for some of these mistakes that I'm gonna tell you now. But if you're trying to like start with a deeper understanding or like what to do exactly, how to progress like fast with like actually understanding what you're doing, then maybe this video is for you, right? We're gonna go over a bunch, and so let's start. First of all, this is the main stage, right? So in the main stage, you see that you're like collecting by progressing through the stages. You are collecting this little rhombus, the ticks for difficulty, right? The higher they are, the higher the difficulty and the drop rate. So if you try to, you know how you get 5 tickets per day, right? On this UTTU special stage spawner. This one scales with the difficulty that you have collected in total, you have progressed to in the main stage. So if you can, try to quote unquote rush the main stages, mainly first because you can get the UTTU rewards really fast, so you can get them done and get some materials that you really need as fast as possible, because you get like 3 point something every stage, 3.5. I don't know if it's always 3.5, but it's like really high every stage. So you will be able to buy a bunch, if not almost all of it, immediately. Now, but also because on certain stages give you the tick to make the higher difficulty. I don't know how is it gonna called. So it's up to 6, so from 1 to 6. So the higher the difficulty is, the higher when you go here the cards are gonna be. So when you get your 5 daily tickets, you click and there is a higher chance to spawn better cards and higher chance to get a selector of that high tier, right? In this case, I went from getting gold cards to fame cards, and then to get a 11% to get a selector fame, right? Because it's the highest tier of rarity of card, because it's a selector of whatever card you want in the catalog of the fame tier, which is the highest one, right? So you really wanted that one. Now, before we talk about this a little bit more, in the stage, there's gonna be, of course, the stage with the difficulties, the enemies, well, how many stage it is, your team, and stuff like that, right? There is a new stage debuff or buff, okay? A new stage condition, which is UTTU special, right? So be sure to read this, because this one might fuck up your team. If you don't pay attention, it's gonna ruin your team. For example, this is saying that your lifesteal is greatly reduced. You and probably also the enemy, but for you it's more important because you made a team to fight the enemy. So the enemy is already takes it into account because it's the computer, right? So the game playing. So for you, maybe you want to change your team according to the debuffs that you're gonna get. For example, if you're running Eternity and the stage is completely countering your ability to lifesteal, maybe you want to consider changing the character into someone else, right? So be careful and try to read. If you're struggling, especially, you don't know why you're struggling, try to read what the special UTTU stage is. It has like a spider net here, so you can click it and check what it says. Now, let's go back. Maybe let's go back. Okay. Now, on the UTTU special issue that you click to spawn, you will get 5 tickets every day. I've said this already in the other guide, but this is more in depth and like in the argument, so I'll say it again just for the sake of like completion and talking about everything. You get 5 tickets every day. So if you wait for more than 2 days, if you have 0, you start UTTU, right? Day 1. If you wait more than 2 days from that point, you will start wasting your tickets, because you get 5 every daily reset. So you really want to use them. Otherwise, if you overcap, they're not gonna go over 10 like the stamina the stamina does when you eat like a candy that goes beyond, right? It's gonna go beyond and it's gonna lock. No, it would actually waste. So do not sleep on actually doing the stages. Like at least use it and spawn it. Maybe you get some good card that you might need. I know that like you're probably gonna do that anyway, but in case you don't play too much, in case you wanted to take a break or something, or I can't play today, I'll play tomorrow, try to do as many stages as you can here and spawn as many cards as you can, because you will overcap the tickets, right? On top of that, by knowing this, automatically the other things that I said makes more sense, because like if you have to do the stages, if you don't want to waste the tickets, if you have to do the stages, since you have to do them, then it's better to have a higher rarity from the start instead of using 7, 8, 9, 10 tickets while having 1 or 2 difficulty. You can see it at the top, while having like 1 or 2 when everything you can get max is like blue, or maybe if you're lucky a gold. So keep that in mind when you are progressing UTTU. Main stage should be, in my opinion, if you care about all of this, should be rushed as soon as possible if you can. So prepare your unit accordingly before UTTU starts, like get your like units to higher level and stuff. We're going to talk about that a little bit more after this. Now let's assume you did that, right? And you have higher difficulty, slide and take here, and every time you refresh, you get fame cards, so you're done. And now all there is left is getting lucky and get a selector. Let's assume you get a selector, right? Or a card that has a condition to met. Be sure to read the stage before you start, right? This is the pre-stage. I'm gonna move myself because I'm actually exactly over the thing that I'm going to talk about. You see here, there is a star that says win without using the tuning, which is the melody, right? So the melody on the bottom left when you play the game, the verting power, whatever you want to call it, whatever you refer it to, they have conditions to drop. If you don't meet the condition, you don't get the card. So be careful before you start, and you start like the encounter, because after you click this encounter will start, and then you have to go to satisfy the conditions, and the other 2 that you didn't click will disappear. So be careful, be sure to read the stage conditions to extra drops and the card that you're trying to get, because you're gonna have multiple conditions. The green one is a condition regarding to the drop of the cards. For example, if you do the condition, if you satisfy the condition, then you get more drop. Maybe double, but I'm not sure about double. Double seems too crazy. Let's say better drops, plus the special card that you had the luck to get will have their own requirement. So keep that in mind. Try to read that, otherwise you're gonna miss it. Then it's another tip to read what you have, check which card you have, and be sure to select the ones that you want, and check what else you're gonna miss, because let's say these stages you spawn, right? Everything you click, the one you click will stay and you will do that, the others will disappear. So read them, see if there is a card that you need, a value, if okay, I need this one more than this one. In that case, like, and then after, like you think about it and then you select and you progress, right? So now, when it comes to selectors, right? When it comes to selector, even if you get a selector early, maybe you're super lucky you get a selector, right? Now, I would advise you to not open it immediately. Try to still go with the normal flow of doing the tickets, getting the normal cards. If you get a selector, set it aside, don't open it yet, because if you're too early and your catalog is completely empty, and any card is a new card, right? In that point, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, and you know which card is rare, which card is not, which you won't know. I don't know either, right? Because I don't know all of the cards, especially like every patch we get new cards as well with the new characters. So there's no way to know which card is gonna be the strongest from the start, at least for now. So what I advise you to do is to wait a little bit before you use the fame, select or any selector, because you can probably get most of the cards just by playing the game and like doing the stages, right? After that, if you're missing something that you would like, for example, I would really like the Diggers card on Fame level, right? The Diggers card on Fame level is this one. This one basically says that when the combat starts, everyone on your team gets 5 Moxie, only one. So you start with instant ults, which is pretty good. There's also 20%. I don't know if this is a debuff or a buff. I don't think the others have it, like the gold version has it. The gold version doesn't have it, so there might be a debuff because it could be too strong. I don't know though. So keep that in mind. Read the cards. Try to understand which card you need the most. Like, set aside a little bit of time before you actually progress to read what the cards do. We're not gonna have all of the cards. I am assuming we're not gonna get 1.2 plus cards like Tooth Fairy, Changeling cards, Kanjira, Black Dwarf cards. I don't think we're gonna get them. We're gonna get the base game with Melania and Pickles and Diggers. So we will gonna get Diggers, which is nice, which is the Moxie one. But yeah, be careful before you open the selector, because you might get a card that you think you needed because you didn't get it yet, and then you do a stage and you just randomly drop it again, right? So that is fine, but try to be a little more patient. You also get some selectors here from the achievement, Fame selector, and then you get a blue selector, a gold selector, and another Fame selector. Now, when it comes to copies, right? Let's say you actually got multiple copies of some cards and you don't need 5 copies, right? Because the drops are random. So when you're doing a stage, you might get the card that you want and then something else that it's a dupe. Now, there is a function here on the catalog called merge. If you click the merge, you will be able to fuse the 3 cards of the same tier together. So let's say, is there a way to check? No. It's a little hard to check which card you have, because like the ones that you have equipped, if there is a dupe, it's not going to be on top of the card that you have equipped. It's going to be on their own. For example, this Regulus gold card. It's a little weird, but try to pay attention which one you have dupe. So let's say 3 cards, right? You click merge, and there is a chance of getting a better tier or guaranteed same tier, and it's going to be a new card. So by doing that, you could try and get the remaining cards that you're trying to get without sacrificing new cards. If you have dupes, you can use them to sacrifice. It's going to be the same tier, or there's a chance that it's going to be higher tier. In this case, it's Fate. As you can see, you cannot merge Fame cards. So for the Fame cards, that's you have to get them manually, and that's why the selector, Fame selector especially, it's a huge deal, and you shouldn't use it until you know exactly what you're doing. All right. So another tip that I wanted to say is try to experiment more. I understand that once you find your core gameplay, okay, I like to use this, and this card, right? And you don't really want to do more, to try and find another combo, but assuming you wanna spend more time in UTTU and you have trouble clearing, right? Retrying a stage is free. Let's say I go to 12 and I click read. This doesn't consume anything. I get read and I can replay the stage. It doesn't replay, at least not here. I can click and fight again. Actually, I'll do it. I click and I fight again. With the card, with the new set, with the new team, with the new cards that I put, right? So if you don't know some cards, you want to experiment, you should probably start an experiment, right? Because you might find a better combo, a better gameplay, a better team, a better strat. So maybe try different verting cards. So experiment more. That's the tip. Even though if you find the one that you're vibing with, that you're more satisfied or comfy with, try to go a little off your bubble and try to do more. Maybe you find something that it's even crazier, or a direct counter of a stage you're having troubles on, right? Now, last tip, it's a little more nuanced. It's a little more situational. It's just a global, have a good team variety, right? I understand it's not super possible to do that, but considering that we have a lot of characters and the 4 stars are 5 stars are very useful. They're not like completely garbage, right? You can use them, and you can even clear limbo with 4 star and 5 stars, right? So even just 4 stars, I think 4 stars and 3 stars, you can probably clear it. Now it's gonna be a lot of resources, but you don't have to do it. Just keep in mind then that UTTU is like kind of hard. Yes, you have the help of the cards, but it's a little hard. So be careful and try to have like as many variety as you can on your team, such as different type of flaruses, different type of rolls, different types of like mental damage, reality damage, moxie removal, CC characters, seal, the silence, and all the other stuff like that, right? So try to have a team full of as many buffs for you as possible, as much variety as possible, so that way you can change accordingly. Because otherwise, like, maybe you have a stage that says like you only have Melania team, right, or Eternity team, and then it's like, okay, these guys have S tier mental defense, and the stage, the UTTU stage debuff is extreme low lifesteal, and then you're fucked, and you're locked in, right? And you can't progress anymore, and it fucks up your progression because you can't get the currency anymore, right? So that's kind of a problem. The last tip is be like, know that the currency for UTTU to buy currency with is not as easy to get as you might think, especially if you don't have a crazy account, or if you don't have many characters. Maybe you're like going around with like a selected few, maybe you didn't get lucky, maybe you lost the 50-50, or maybe you had like a bunch of pulls and you didn't get any character. You have a bunch of 5 stars but you don't want to use them, right? So if you have a less crazy account, let's say, be careful, like be mindful of the fact that you won't be able to buy everything from the shop. So my advice is to buy the very important items first, and then buy, let's say, a free skin, because the free skin is 25,000. You get a lot on the first stages, but then it starts getting harder and harder, and you might get stuck towards the end. So you might get stuck first, and second of all, maybe not permanently, but you will still need a lot of time to maybe get a better card to carry you. So right now you won't be able to get a card, so it's a little bit of a problem, and you don't have enough. You can clear the stage, but you bought the skin first, right? So do not buy the skin first, especially if it's 25,000 in global as well. Try to buy like the casket, and then go back and buy the other materials like the purple mats, the books, because you can farm those at the end of the day. Yes, it's gonna help you progressing faster, but it's you can farm them. It's possible to farm them outside of the event, so even if you get stuck in the event, it's fine. You can go get the ingot somewhere else. But if you miss this, if you get stuck at 13, right, and you didn't buy the casket, now you're missing a lot. Now you're kind of effed up, right? So be careful of what you're buying early on, because if you don't have a crazy account that you're able to clear limbo with, you're not going to be able to buy everything in the shop at all, and you're going to be stuck there for a long time, if not until the end, if you just don't have the currency or don't have the units, right? Then, so try to buy first the good stuff, the very important stuff, such as the casket, and maybe this. If we have this is it's a huge XP for your side tube. And the Nell, you could avoid getting the Nell if you don't want to get it, because if you don't have anyone, if you don't have multiple characters R9 waiting to be R10, you kind of don't need to rush the Nell. But the casket, that's top priority. And then you can buy level up materials for the character that it's that it's that is there. We're probably gonna get pickle stuff if I had to guess. So if you pull the pickle, then you want to buy his stuff first, right? You also get books. I don't know if it's gonna be the same. You can go check what's in the shop on the 1.1 all the rewards video that I made. You can go check there. I don't remember because it's been a while, and now I'm getting like new memories by looking at this. So yeah, that's it. I don't want to stall too much. I don't have anything else to say. Let me know if you have other tips that you thought about, or maybe you're playing the Chinese version. You have like, oh, remember to do this. You forgot this. Something that I might have forgotten, or something you want to add. Feel free to comment down below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. If you want to follow my Twitch, is twitch.tv/Jakazin. I stream there. We're gonna do UTTU. We're gonna do 1.5. So be like, if you're interested, go follow that. And yeah, subscribe and stuff. That's it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.